sustainability can really make a big impact when we talk about sustainable farming and food production. We're going to be discussing that a little bit later. Our next guest this afternoon is Parul Soni. She's the Chief Business Officer from Clear Meat India. Now, as the Chief Business Officer at Clear Meat, she has more than 14 years of experience across a number of industries, from fintech to e-commerce and robotics. Now, for the last year and a half, she's been immersed in the world of what she calls sustainable food production at ClearPoint, pinpointing the critical ingredients within our food value chain that have previously been considered irreplaceable constants. Now, it's important to emphasize here, this is not a meat alternative, this is a lab-grown meat product. Please welcome Parul Soni to the stage.
Namaste everyone from India. I am Parul, and as she introduced me, I'll straight away go to the presentation. So today, as you know, we start with a case study. The topic which I have taken here is the sustainability across the value chain of lab-grown meat, which is not a very fascinating name. So we call it kinder meat or a good karma meat. Yeah. So when we start with the problem, in a case study, the problem is that, and it's not a problem, it's the fact that our global population is increasing. In the last 10 years, we have been increased 1 billion. So we are right now 8 billion on this planet. And what are we eating? We are eating meat. 80% of the population on this planet is preferring meat-based food. Even considering India. India is a non-vegetarian country and not a vegetarian country. So what are the massive problems with eating meat? Though we all know about it, let's talk, as in the past presentation has been told, that 5 billion hectare land is the usable land, and out of that, 3 billion hectare land is only used for the farm-fed and for the farming of the animals, rearing, grazing. The greenhouse emissions, the water footprint, and obviously the use of antibiotics. So these are the problems, and we have to figure out a possible solution, how we're going to move forward to solve all these problems. Alternative proteins is one of the possible solutions to solve the world food hunger sustainably. Plant-based is one of the alternatives which we are hearing and listening about. Another fascinating topic is cell-based cultivated meat, or what we call as the lab-grown meat. What exactly happens in a plant-based meat is that we take a plant extract, we coagulate them, and there is a science behind that, and then we get a meat lookalike. What happens in cell-based meat is that you take a biopsy of a living healthy animal, and then you differentiate the cells. You grow the meat in a nutrient-rich environment, and then you get 100% meat. So it is not a fake meat, it is actually a meat. It is a solution. The source is different. This is what people are preferring because of the taste. So once somebody is having meat, and as per all the discussions I had in my past experience and a lot of discussions in India, a lot of conferences I've attended, I realized that 90% of the meat, the taste people prefer is of cultivated meat. So let's talk about the cultivated meat technology. I've already explained it. In this particular technology, it is not kill, but it's clearly 100% meat. Now the major ingredient which we're going to talk about, so this is one of the solutions of one of the problems. Now cell growth media is one of the key ingredients which is required to grow the cells in the lab. This cell growth media includes fetal bovine serum. Now, as literally the name tells us, it is the serum which is extracted from the fetus of a bovine. And this is extremely required to actually cultivate the cells, not just for one industry, but for pharma, for vaccine, for R&D. Why it is important to talk about the cell growth media or fetal bovine serum? One of the problems is how are we going to solve the food hunger? We have got a solution which is called as cultivated meat and alternative protein as well, plant-based food. But when we go through this particular industry of cultivated meat, why we are not able to solve it? First of all, let's understand what is fetal bovine serum. It is the common component for cell culture. It is used, it is required to provide the nourishment to the cells. If we go through some of the facts here, the price of 500 ml of Fetal Bovine Serum is $720, which is extremely costlier for the countries like India and the other Asian countries. It is 60% of the production cost of this particular industry. It requires 500 ml to produce 1 kg of meat. That's why the cultivated meat is so costly. How it is obtained? It is obtained from the calf's blood, and it requires 1 cow and 1 calf life to actually get it. So let's understand the hidden problem here. I don't actually have to, explain the image here. If you see, we breed the cattle, slaughter the cattle, we get the blood, and then the entire value chain follows after that. Some more information about it. Globally, 20,000 cows are killed every day to obtain FBS. 12 metric tons of GHG emission every day happens because of the methane emission which happens from the cows. 3 billion hectare land is used, as I told earlier, and the antibiotic usage to grow these cows is super high. So what did we achieve by creating cultivated meat? So we have cultivated meat. We saved one family, we saved a chicken. We used FBS, we killed 1 cow. So it is not a net zero, or maybe it's a zero in the overall equation. How can we solve this particular problem? We need to have an alternative to FBS to make it a sustainable value chain. And here comes the solution which Clear Meat from India are coming up with. No kill, so the solution which we are providing, we call it Clear X9. This particularly is a no kill or animal cell-free serum. It is 60% economical because definitely we are not rearing any cows. We do not have the cost which is accrued from creating the farms. It is reusable. This also solves the cost problem and is 100% sustainable. This is the FBS alternative and the 3 different variations which we use for different kinds of cells. So standard stem cells and neuronal cells. It is 100% natural ingredient based. It requires no kill, it requires no animal usage. What is the impact here? How will it go back? I clicked too early. So this is the original image of the meat we have created in India. This is a lab-grown or a cultivated meat, which we call it. The antibiotics inducement in this particular product is down to 0. There are no requirement of antibiotics. It saves 1 pregnant cow and one calf. It saves a hen because we are working on chicken as of now as our product. The methane emission goes down by 9.2 million tons yearly, and the CO2 emission goes down by 2.6 million tons. And we require 2.5 liters of Clear X9, which once we use goes down to 1 liter to create 1 kg of eco meat, we call it. Some calculated facts also that it reduces the procurement time. So earlier, at least for India, because India is a 100% import country for FBS, and almost 75 to 80% of the countries in the world are import countries for FBS, we reduced the procurement time from 6 months to 7 days. We have saved 120 cows till now of the product. We have eliminated 45 million tons of GHG emission, and we are able to bring down the price of the product of cultivated meat at $25, only $25 per kg, which is 1/10 of what we see globally. This is the presentation. Thank you very much. We'll take the questions.